Leah Lawrence.
And I'm her husband, Mitch Lawrence.
And you are listening to the Southern Spirits Podcast, where I regale my husband with Southern stories of the macabre, creepy, and strange.
And I drink.
So what are we drinking tonight, Mitchell?
Our beer tonight is a real fun one, Leah, that I hope you like, because I do.
I picked it out and I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's Tiki Tonic Pineapple Cider. It's from Diskin Cider in Nashville, Tennessee. That's Diskin, for anyone wanting to look them up. 5% alcohol by volume, and they have 3 separate can sections, 3 separate things to read on their cans. There we go. So we're going to go through them all because they're fun. So let's read the can. Everyone has their beach, and Tiki Tonic takes you there. We combine natural pineapple with fresh apple cider and, of course, a little lime for that tropical flavor that's just like sitting under a palm tree. It's paradise in a can. Enjoy! Section 2. Fresh pressed, gluten-free, no added sugar, nothing artificial, locally crafted. You're welcome. I just like that part. It's really cute. Third one. You're fortunate to be holding 100% fresh apples. Branch to can fresh and Nashville to the core. I just thought that was fun that they, they get their apples.
Apple puns.
Yeah, well, there weren't puns.
It
but
said Nashville to the core.
Yeah, I mean,
apples.
I guess that can go as a pun. Anyway, what I have to say is that this is it's very sweet. There isn't a lot of pineapple flavor, but enough that you can tell, okay, I guess they were going for pineapple with this. It's just like a refreshing apple cider. It's good. It's dangerous because there's absolutely no alcohol taste whatsoever. Like, this might as well be apple juice, pretty much. I like it a lot. Leah, what do you think about it?
I think it has more of a pineapple flavor than you're giving it credit for, but
maybe.
I really like it, but it tastes like mellowed down pineapple juice, because if you've ever had pineapple juice just straight from like a can, it can be kind of acidic and sort of burn your throat, but this is mellow and good and a little tropical and just nice.
Yeah, it's really fun. I gave it a 9 out of 10. Not quite perfect, because it's just, it's real fucking sweet. It's shockingly sweet.
I honestly don't think it's as sweet as you think it is, but you also don't drink sweet things very often. As someone who is a connoisseur of ciders, yes, it is on the sweet side, but it isn't like blow your tongue off, I'm drinking a donut kind of sweet. It's a nice, on the sweeter side, very drinkable cider.
I'm drinking a donut. That's the episode title. First 3 minutes. Done. All right, our shot in the dark. Tennessee Mountain Made Salty Watermelon Whiskey. Produced and bottled by Old Smoky Distillery in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. 30% alcohol by volume. And nothing on the bottle to speak of, so let's read the online description. Nothing brings out the sweetness of watermelon like a little sprinkle of salt. We took this mouth-watering, salty-sweet combo and kicked it up a note with Old Smoky Whiskey. Let the summer begin. Well, summer's over, but they're still selling it, so...
Well, it's still hot as balls outside, so
yeah, it was 101 in my car today. 101. It's the last day of September when we're recording this. 101 degrees in my car.
That's in your unair-conditioned car. It was only like 93 today.
It was fucking miserable in my unair-conditioned car. Anyway, all right, personal review section. If the cider that we talked about just a minute ago is dangerous, because I said it was, because there's no alcohol taste, this is suicide. This tastes like absolutely no alcohol, just an unbelievably sweet watermelon-y flavor is what I was trying to get to there. I mean, it tastes just like watermelon to me. It's wonderful. What else can I say? Drinker beware, because it's damn good, but I love it. 10 out of 10 on ice. It's only 30%, so you can see where there's not too much of a bite on it. But, I mean, just drinking it on ice, I can't even taste any whiskey. Leah said there was some. I
barely got a sip of it. I was cooking when you tried to give it to me.
You want to try it now?
Sure.
Okay, here it comes.
Live reactions, y'all.
I also made, we weren't really sure what to put with this, so I just, I took a sip on it on ice. I said, ooh, I know. And I grabbed a Diet Sundrop and put that in there, and I'm calling it a watermelon sucker. It's about half and half, and it's 10 out of 10 because it's damn fucking good. So this gets a 10 out of 10 overall. Maybe one of the finer liquors we've had on the show, Leah. But Old Smoky does this with their flavored stuff. The salty caramel one was the same way. and now there's this one. I'm just all about it. And when y'all hear this, we will be in Gatlinburg for that weekend anyway, buying some more moonshine. Probably, hopefully. But yeah, wonderful, wonderful whiskey. I can't wait to take a shot of it. And that's it for the alcohols, Leah. So what are we going to do now?
Ugh. I'm sorry. I just took a drink of that, and it reminds me specifically of a cough syrup that I used to have to take when I was a kid. And it had such a disgusting flavor that they had to mask it to get kids to take it. And they would put like whatever flavoring, like the local pharmacy would compound it for kids with like a...
You know what you just reminded me of?
Flavor, what?
I'll bet you I know what the artificial flavor in this is. You ever go to the dentist and they give you like a choice of your toothpaste flavor?
Yeah.
I think that's the watermelon flavor of toothpaste at the dentist.
It's the same kind of, I would say it's the same flavoring that like the pharmacist will use to compound with. Yeah. And it tastes like that specific cough syrup to me because there's a little bit of alcohol in the back end. And I think it was a cough syrup. It might have been like an antibiotic syrup or something. But I remember taking it when I was a little kid, and I got sick all the time. So there's no telling what it was. But
like my brother loved the bubblegum flavor at the dentist, and I fucking hated it.
I was going to say, I couldn't handle the bubblegum flavor. So they
gross.
had to... I remember there was a pineapple cough syrup that I took a lot, and then there was that. And it just reminds me so much of that it's kind of...
Yeah. I never had any flavored medicine, but
I don't know.
You know, the
I don't
dentist
know that I would,
is what I remember.
Yeah, but I really don't know that I would drink much of that just because it's such a weird flashback. It doesn't taste bad by any means, but it's just one of those weird triggering flavors for me that I don't know that I would drink much of it on purpose. But anyway, we have a new Possum Passel member.
All right, new Possum Passel. Come in, get you a lightsaber and a monkey, and let's laugh at you. Oh shit, hold on. There we go.
Excellent.
Yay.
Welcome to the Possum Passel, Allie.
Welcome.
She is pledging at the Buy Us a Cocktail level. That's $10 a month. We really appreciate you, Allie. You are absolutely fabulous. Welcome. If you haven't joined the community chat, come say hello. It's pretty great.
I think she did. I know I approved someone the other day.
Maybe. I'm not sure. It's hard to keep up with because we've got over like 100 or something like that people in
something
there
like
now.
That, yeah.
And we're always growing and ready to talk to more people. There's lots of memes. There's lots of weirdness. We like to talk. It's fine.
The fun part is when people first join, they're like, ooh, they're going to love all these possum memes. And we're like, we've seen them. The last 4 people that joined, that was the first thing they did too.
Yeah.
But keep doing it. I'm not saying don't do it.
I love all of the possum memes though. Like, yes. Do I have a catalog of them? Sure. Are you going to show me something I haven't seen? Probably not. But do I still want to see the possum? Yes.
Yeah.
I love all possum memes. But anyway, welcome to the Possum Passel, Allie. You are amazing. We love you. Thank you so much for contributing.
Welcome.
It's you and the rest of the Possum Passel that really make this show possible because it's kind of expensive. Possible. Because it's kind of expensive to produce, and we're doing this, you know, for funsies and for freezies. So
and freezies.
We really appreciate y'all. And if anybody else wants to join the Possum Passel, there's some fun like perks to it, and you can check all of that out on patreon.com/Southern Spirits Podcast.
You almost fucked up.
Yeah, there's so many web addresses and shows, and I don't know.
Yep.
Either way, pitch us a couple of dollars each month. It would really help out. We appreciate it.
If everybody gave $1 per month, we could save a child in Africa, Leah.
We could, but we probably wouldn't.
For 3 cents a day, you
in
can
the
sponsor.
Arms of the angel.
If you don't give us $1 per month, we're murdering our dogs.
No, we're not.
Fiona Apple's going to be pissed.
Is
that who that was?
No,
I think it was Sarah
that
McLachlan.
was Sarah McLachlan.
God damn it. Fucking Fiona Apple.
Sarah McLachlan also sang our my graduation song, the most depressing graduation song.
Like she was there?
No, I'm saying that like you would think that like the senior class would get to pick their graduation song, but no, our chorus teacher picked it, who is one of my favorite people in the whole wide world. Don't get me wrong. I love her to death.
But you fucked up.
But she picked I will remember you.
Lame.
Like the
Who died
sad
in your
dog,
class?
right? The little sad dog commercial song. It was awful. Anyway, I'm off on a real bad tangent. So anyway, how about a funny place name?
I love funny place names, Leah. Hit me with it.
Well, this week we're going to Romance, Arkansas.
Oh, hello.
Yes.
Hello.
So Romance, Arkansas was named Romance because obviously they were starting a post office because is that not how all of the towns in the states got named?
As far as I know, it is.
So they were starting a post office and they needed a name and they couldn't come up with one and no one really knew what they wanted to call it, but there was a school teacher in town and he was the most educated dude around, and so they were like, all right, why don't you pick it? And he's like, okay, let me give this some deep thought. So he walks around the town trying to decide what he's going to name this town to put the post office there. And this particular area of Arkansas apparently has some mountains, and he went over to the bluff, the local bluff. I'm not sure what a bluff is, but anyway.
We all have our local bluffs. You know it.
And he looked over the bluff and was like, oh, this is a lovely spot. It's so romantic.
He got a boner.
And then he got like an idea. Romance.
Oh, God, I really thought you were going to say he got direction.
No.
And he was like, oh.
There were
Light
no
bulb.
erections involved, according to the legend that I read. But
people like to whitewash shit.
right. Anyway, so he was like, this looks like a very romantic location. Why don't we name it Romance? And so they did. And it turns out that community has kind of been like coasting on that name ever since, because the USPS is still operating a post office there.
Wow.
And lots of people specifically go to Romance to mail Valentine's Day cards, wedding invitations, that kind of thing, just for the postmark.
Second week in a row we've had somewhere that does that.
Exactly.
Or that people do that, I mean.
Yeah, and that the UPS people, or the USPS, excuse me, people released their love stamps at that post office first because it's romance.
Or they do?
They did. That's not a one of the
I thought it was a recurring
ongoing
one.
series. It might have been, but like the first one was done there in 1990. Those things are old.
Almost as old as you. Not quite, though.
Almost, but not quite. I got a couple months on them, but and then also apparently it's become that post office has become a very popular place for people to get hitched. So
they get married at the post office?
In front of it. It is not, and the article on Wikipedia wants to make very sure that they know that it is not affiliated with or condoned by the USPS, but people have weddings on that post office ground a lot.
Well, that's interesting.
Which is weird. Like, who's like, you know what? I'm
Leah,
gonna go get married at that romantic post office.
Leah, if you think that's bad, okay, I didn't know them personally, but I knew of people who got married in a bowling alley bar. So
at least there's alcohol there. This is a post office.
you can bring alcohol to the post office. Is there anything that says alcoholic beverages not allowed at the post office?
Well, probably, but it's also not an open carry location, and this is outdoors in public in front of the post office. So
that reminds me of that Eddie Izzard bit way back from his Dress to Kill thing in like 97.
God, I love
y'all,
that.
if y'all don't know who Eddie Izzard
It's
is,
so good.
go watch that. But he talks about how California had just recently banned smoking in the bars there, which I still think you can't smoke in a bar in California. But he said, yes, no smoking in bars now, and soon no drinking and no talking. He says everyone's going to be going, let's go down to the library. We'll have a wild time. It just reminds me. I'll go to the fucking post office and start a rave.
Love Eddie Izzard. They're great.
We can have a post office hitching ceremony.
No thanks. All right. Well, are you ready for our very first story now that we're like 15 minutes in?
Yeah.
All right.
It's about par for the course.
Yeah.
Remember when we started this show and I would say things about how I hated other podcasts that just vamped for the first 15, 30 minutes and then finally got into their stuff, and now we fucking do it?
Yes.
Anyway, let's talk about that for a good minute.
No, let's get into this shit.
All right.
I have places to go and people to see. And by people
Who?
to see, I mean I'm taking a nap after this. And by nap, I mean I'm going to sleep
You're going to
because
see
I
them in
wake
your
up at 5
dreams.
o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited to do it.
All right. Anyway, so we're going to stay in Arkansas for this particular story. And we're talking about the corpse of old Mike.
Oh, God. I'm into this.
All right. Now, this information came from the Encyclopedia of Arkansas, Wikipedia, and I also watched a video about it. The first time I ever heard about it was, an old Ask a Mortician episode on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Highly recommend that. If you're into any kind of weird, spooky, creepy shit, definitely go check out that if you haven't already. Ask a Mortician on YouTube's a really good channel. It's hosted by Caitlin Doty, and it's really good.
Leah.
Anyway.
Leah, if you're going to do that again, let's make her pay for ad space, please.
No.
For the love of God.
She runs a non-profit funeral home, so poor people can easily pay to.
Because she makes all of her money on YouTube.
It's
and
really hard to
podcasting.
get ads on death-related content. Okay.
Not if you got them viewers. That's all YouTube cares about. Got to satisfy that algorithm.
Nope.
Yeah.
Turns out. Anyway, so Old Mike is the name of the body of a traveling salesman. And he died in 1911 in Prescott, and that's in Nevada County in Arkansas.
Okay.
Now, he was a peddler, I guess you would call him. He was a door-to-door salesman of goods, I guess, household goods. He sold stationery, mostly pens, paper, some thread, and that kind of stuff. And he sold it to homes, door to door, to businesses that he regularly supplied.
Okay.
But it was mostly just, he had a certain route that he would do every week, and he was just a salesman. So Mike visited the town of Prescott, like I said, about once a month to sell all of his wares and his goods. And he also, after he was done with his regular clients, he would sell the rest of what he had sort of near the railroad tracks, near the center of town. And he arrived the same way every month. He arrived on the southbound 3 p.m. train, and he stayed overnight there in Prescott. And then the next day, he would get on a train going out around 3 p.m. So he would spend about 24 hours there every month.
Okay.
But on April...
Did you say every month?
Every month.
Okay.
He came in and did his sales about once a month.
Okay. Interesting.
So in April of 1911, he had come in to do his normal route, selling to his normal clients. And I mean, he just had finished doing his job, so he was hanging around the town. And there was like an outdoor tent revival kind of going on in the Central City Park there. And so he was like, might as well go hang out, sit on the ground, listen to some preaching, whatever. But the next day, his body was found underneath a tree in the park.
Oh, no.
And it was apparent to the doctors that were called in that he had probably died of either a heart attack or a stroke. They weren't sure. He had some damage to his right arm and left leg, which they believe it was symptoms of a stroke. Either that or like he had a heart attack and fell on it, But either way, he had some kind of emergency problem with his circulatory system.
Well, it sounds to me like somebody might have robbed him and killed him of all of his wares.
But I mean, there was no external anything. I mean, there was no stabs, no struggle, no gunshot wounds. He just sort of keeled over kind of situation.
Well, I've been wrong before.
Yeah.
I'll be wrong again, I'm sure.
Most likely. But
Not
anyway.
this time, though. Not this time. Yeah.
So his body was taken to the local funeral home, and it was called the Cornish Funeral Home. And they went ahead and embalmed it because they wanted to preserve it so they could notify his next of kin. But they were searching through his belongings, and they couldn't find any kind of ID. They didn't even really know what his name was. They just started calling him Mike, because that's what, he went by in town.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't know his full name. They didn't know his last name. The only thing that they really knew about Mike was that he was about 45 years old. He spoke English. He had a little bit of an accent. He might have been like from an Italian family. But for the most part, he's just a normal everyday dude. And that was about it. They just knew him as the guy that came in and sold pens and paper and thread and left,
Yeah.
So they once again determined that, they're pretty sure it was natural causes. He was okay. They did an autopsy of the body just to make sure, and they noticed that he had very elaborate dental work done. So he had he had way more dental work and better dental work than it was normal for the time period and the area. But other than that, that's about everything that they could find out just based on his body and his personal belongings. So they went about trying to find out who this guy was. And since he had been embalmed, they kind of set him up in a funeral parlor there at the funeral home, and they were like, okay, if anybody knows this guy, come look and see, help us identify it. So people started coming through to look at this dead body just to see if they knew who he was. Nobody did.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody came forward to identify the body.
They just kept it like behind glass or something, and we're like, do you know this person?
No, just in a casket. They just set him out like a display, and he'd been embalmed with their like special embalming fluid, and they just sort of left him out for a while. And no one knew him. No one came forward to claim the body. And so they just sort of left him there a little bit. And the years went past, and they were like, you know what? He's embalmed really well. He still looks real good, so let's prop him up in the window.
Oh, fucking
Yeah. So they used him as basically advertising for that funeral home. And like I said, this happened in 1911, but they kept him. And they kept him, and the sun streaming through the window of their funeral home sort of tanned his skin to this weird red leather color. Yep. You can see pictures of old Mike. Just Google it. There's plenty of photos. But more and more people came and looked at this creepy, leathery corpse man. And he became a local tourist attraction. Hundreds and hundreds of people from the surrounding areas just visited Prescott just to come look at him because he was like that creepy dead dude in the window. And they kept his body up. They changed his clothes. They just kept a dead body in the window.
I get it.
I don't know what else to say. It's super creepy.
Yeah, it is.
But anyway, shot in the dark.
Oh, fucking finally. Shit.
How many years did old Mike spend on display?
Okay.
Was it 30 years? Was it 60 years? Or was it 90 years?
Oh, motherfucker.
And he died in 1911.
Yeah. I'm gonna say 60.
You're correct. He spent 60 years.
Yay.
60. 60.
Yeah, I know.
They left this old decomposing body in the window.
Here's your shot.
For 60 years. I'm upset by that. I just am.
Me too. I think if it would have happened, see, your mistake was going 90 years. Because if it would have happened in 2001, I think I would have heard about it, But I don't know. I feel like I would have heard about it in 1971 too, but nope. I've never heard this before. How's that whiskey? Uh-oh. You okay, for real?
Yeah, it's fine.
Ugh.
It just tastes like cough syrup to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care for that.
I love it.
I know you love it, but it tastes like cough syrup to me.
It's my new fave.
I much prefer their salted caramel, and then they also came out with like a cookie dough version of that same whiskey, and I want to try that.
Mm-hmm. I think it was very limited though. I don't think they have it right now.
Most likely, but I hope there's something left or something new. They're always coming out with new interesting flavors, and I can't wait.
They are. They don't have it at the Alabama, liquor stores, I know. So when we go to Gatlinburg, we're 100% going to All Smoky. So we'll see what they have. We'll try to get some stuff we haven't had before.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So in 1975, the Arkansas Attorney General's office had to basically say, look, Cornish Funeral Home,
Really?
you can't keep a dead body in the window.
But you can for 60 years, but
Yeah.
you've crossed the line now.
1975, they had to force these people to bury that body. So on May the 12th of 1975, they had a quiet ceremony for old Mike at the Deanne Cemetery, and they buried him finally. After 60 creepy, tanned, in the window, leathery face years, they put him in the ground.
Is that funeral home still operating too?
I have no idea. I did not look that up, and that would have been a good thing for me to have researched, but I didn't. So
They've just replaced him. They now put the Attorney General in the window.
No. I mean, like, if the person before they died had consented to being put in the window, sure, whatever, display it. But, like, this poor guy, like, is away from his home and his family, if he even has one.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows where the fuck he is. Clearly nobody that loved him in life knew he was gone or what he was doing. And anyway, this poor dude dies without any identification, no way to get him back to his family. And so they just fucking put him on display. I don't know. It's weird. I don't like it. But
Well,
that
I'm
was
sorry
old
you don't
Mike.
like it. Well, he's I feel sorry for him, Leah.
Yeah, me
I
too.
feel sorry for him. Well, let's just go into the second story then, because that's enough of feeling sorry for Mike.
All right. Well, the second story is kind of like two stories rolled into one. It's kind of
Ooh.
like a pick your own.
I don't know if I can support this. It's Bandersnatch? Are we doing Bandersnatch?
No, we're not bandersnatching.
Oh, that was a fun thing. I liked it. I only wanted to
I
do it once.
enjoyed
though.
it. I was to say, I don't know that I would have done it more than once, but
It's a fun concept.
It was a fun concept, and I really hope they do something more with it.
And
I
they had the
liked it.
eyebrows guy in it.
I do like Eyebrows Guy, and seeing him in a serious role.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, as serious as that was, but
he's always
like a more
comedic relief because
like,
of his face.
Yeah, his eyebrows are
So
weird.
bad. It's just his eyebrows. It's not his face. That's not fair.
I think he's a really talented actor, but the eyebrows
is.
kill me every time.
He's very talented.
Anyway,
He was great in We're the Millers.
That was really funny.
You didn't like that movie.
I liked parts of that movie. Some of it was just over the top crude humor for no good reason, but
Is
some
that
of
what
it was very funny.
We're the Millers? I feel like it might
Yes,
have
that's
been
what it was
something else.
called. Where they're all like drug smuggling as a fake family.
Yes.
That's what it's called, yes.
Is it We're the Millers? I don't know. I don't know. Okay.
All right, so we're talking about the legend of the Singing River.
Okay. This sounds fun.
It is fun. So we're talking about the Pascagoula River. Yay.
Yay.
All right, so the Pascagoula...
Yay. I'm looking up We're the Millers.
Okay.
By the way, that is what it was.
Yeah, I told you it was.
Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm paying attention.
Are you sure?
I was looking up We're the Millers.
Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Are you done with your Googling?
I am.
You want to put it down so you can listen?
I've got my phone on my
Okay.
drive sheet that I use.
Okay, cool. All right, so the Pascagoula River is about 80 miles long, and it drains into like a big estuary kind of situation there on the border of Mississippi and Alabama. It sort of drains into the Gulf of Mexico.
Right.
And it's just a river that goes through Pascagoula. That's
All right.
being the best. Like, it's nothing
Well,
super
we'll see y'all
fancy.
next week.
But it has something weird about it. It sings.
It sings.
makes a
The river
weird-
does.
Yeah, the river sings. It makes this weird noise, and you can hear videos of it on YouTube. I haven't found a good video of it yet, but there are videos of it. But according to the people that, live there and have recorded stuff about it, it's almost like the sound that happens when you rub the edge of a crystal glass, like when you do singing glasses or something like that. It's sort of a high-pitched hum, kind of a weird vibrating tone. And it's just a naturally occurring sound that river makes, and it doesn't make it all the time. Nobody knows why it makes that sound, but it does naturally occur on certain occasions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's weird.
If the conditions are, right for it to happen. Now, the reason, quote, that this happens can be explained by two separate stories, and I'm going to let you pick which story you like best.
Yay, Bandersnatch. Yay.
And like I said, these legends are almost interchangeable. Some of them, some people will tell one, some people will tell the other, some people will tell both. I'm one of those people, so I hope you enjoy my stories.
I hope I do too.
So the Pascagoula, the name Pascagoula came from a tribe of Native Americans, and they are not, they are no longer a tribe. There is not an extant tribe called the Pascagoula. The Pascagoula people disappeared, and it's kind of a mystery, like just where they went and how they are no longer there. But they were originally one of a couple of small bands of Native Americans that lived in that area. The other band of Native Americans being the Biloxi. And you'll know the name Biloxi because it's also the name of a town in Mississippi on the coast.
Gambling town.
It's a gambling town, yeah.
I'm going
Biloxi.
in a couple weeks.
It's lovely.
I'm going with some friends in a couple weeks.
You sure are.
I'm excited.
So the Biloxi tribe were a lot more strong, powerful warrior type folk. The Pascagoula were a little bit more chill, farmy kind of people, but they lived together like in the same area. They were cool with each other. They were just like coexisting as separate tribes doing real good, just chill. So shot in the dark.
Oh God, already? Okay.
What does the word Pascagoula translate to in English?
Uh-oh.
Does it mean A, the reed weavers? Does it mean B, the bread eaters? Or C, the star singers?
Oh, reed weavers. I'm going to say star singers.
You're incorrect.
Oh no, what did I do wrong, Leah?
It means the bread eaters.
The bread eaters.
The bread eaters. And it means that in Choctaw.
Cherokee, Chickasaw Creek.
Mitchell, stop being
fourth grade
racist. Oh. Y'all, we've explained that before, but the Alabama public education system
Mine
in
was
fourth
private.
grade. Okay, well.
Mine was private. The
Still.
Alabama education system
was a little bit racist in fourth grade, okay?
I think it's just kind of, overall. I will say that in school you do not learn that the Confederates were the good guys. I want to say that about Alabama at least.
That's true.
So, heritage not hate, Leah.
Kill me.
That was not taught in school. I want that understood. People are just stupid.
Yeah.
Let's make that clear. All right, shot time. You can continue while I do this.
All right. Well, they are thought to have been either affiliated with or absorbed by the local Choctaw nation because, like I said, the name that they've been given does mean bread eaters in Choctaw, and it doesn't mean anything in any other language. So, they
weird.
assume that that's where they either ended up or were from initially, Yeah. Like I said, it is kind of a mystery about those two tribes specifically. But anyway, so the Pascagoula people were visited by lots of different European settlers and travelers and the like. So lots of like Spanish not Inquisition, man. Wrong. The Spanish conquistadors and that kind of people came through the area. French fur trappers and explorers and stuff like that were coming through that area. And there are lots of reports of that tribe from the different Spanish and French people that recorded it. And so their writings were never very conclusive or specific, and they would just name them weird things that they thought they were called instead of like asking them, hey, what are you called? So anyway, the reports of these tribes are a little bit mixed up and weird, but this is the legend this is the first legend that we're going to talk about of how these people believe that the Singing River came to sing. So according to this legend, the Biloxi tribe and the Pascagoula tribe, you know, were coexisting for centuries. They are like fine with each other. They're chill. They're living in harmony together, just being tribes. So the chieftain of the Pascagoula tribe's name was Altama.
Altama Ha Ha? I remember that, Leah.
I think it might be
Bonus
like maybe
points.
what he's named after. I don't know, but no, just Altama. And he was the chieftain of the Pascagoula tribe. Now, he was in love with this lady named Enola, and she was, all of the stuff that I read call her a princess of the Biloxi tribe, but I really think it's probably just, you know, a very attractive lady from a high-ranking family. Like, I don't think princess is really a... We've had this conversation before. I don't know that a princess
They didn't have
is...
princesses.
Yeah.
They had, like, chief's daughters.
Or even, just like I said, like noble women of some
Right.
sort. But I don't think princess is really the right term. But I'm also not
Very
Native
white.
American, so I can't really... I don't know. If
Stop
anybody...
appropriating these people.
I was going to say, if anybody out there that is listening is affiliated with a tribe, I would really like to know more about that. If you care to educate us, send us an email. That'd be awesome. But anyway,
Let Leah steal your culture.
it's not stealing. I'm educating myself. Thank you. Anyway, so her name was Enola. He was in love with her, but she was from the Biloxi tribe. And she was also, you know, betrothed to the chief of that tribe. And so that was a problem.
Biblically betrothed?
But what?
Biblically?
Probably not, because I don't think they've biblicaled at this point. Anyway.
Whom hasn't, Leah?
Like, I mean, I don't think the missionaries have showed up and, like,
So
made them be Christian yet. So.
They were, oh God, what's the word? Barbarians. Barbarians.
That's a really, really awful term.
Well, I'm just saying, Leah, they didn't have Jesus.
And that was fine.
I don't have Jesus. Look at me. Big old hairy barbarian.
You're so cute.
Making my way through, just bludgeoning
Making
bitches.
your way downtown,
Yeah.
walking fast.
That's what I'm doing. I don't have Jesus. I have Vanessa Carlton. It is a
bless your heart.
much happier life.
Oh,
Let me tell you.
bless it. Anyway, can we please get someone to design a t-shirt that just says our Lord and Savior Vanessa Carlton?
And it's just like her behind a piano, like not playing it, but just sitting there smiling like a portrait.
I thought that was a Michelle Branch song.
Oh, fuck, you might be right.
Google it.
Oh, it definitely is. God
I'm pretty
damn
sure
it.
that's Michelle Branch.
I don't have Jesus. I have Michelle Branch. I'll fix it in editing. There we go.
Oh, bless it. Anyway, I mean, I'm fine with either of those two t-shirts if anyone wants to draw them up. But anyway.
No, it's Vanessa Carlton.
Is
Eat a
it?
dick.
Okay.
Eat a dick. What? You
What
think
song?
I don't know Vanessa Carlton?
What song did Michelle Branch sing, though? It was another
I think
one
she
of
had
them.
a couple, Leah.
Well, I mean, like, there's a really popular one, and I can't remember what it is. But anyway, that doesn't matter. So, Altama and Enola were, like, real, like, into each other. But she was
Hey.
betrothed to the chief of her own tribe. So, they had a decision to make. Do we get together and, like, cause all sorts of chaos and terror? Or do I just, you know, go along with a marriage that I'm supposed to be going along with and not cause any kind of harm to our tribes? They picked the getting together part.
Aw. So
Like-
they just left their tribes?
No, she left the Biloxi tribe in order to come and live with Altama. And
power of that dick,
really,
baby.
right?
What?
And so the Biloxi tribe was really pissed off about that.
If I'm ever single again, I'm using that as a pickup line.
What?
Bitch, I will make you change tribes.
That's really creepy. Please
And
stop.
also super offensive.
Very offensive. God, you're awful today. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I'm a little drunk, Leah.
But anyway.
I'm having a great time.
So the Biloxi tribe was pissed off, and they start basically warring against the Pascagoula tribe. They start killing people. They
That's
start
not funny.
taking
My joke is
them
funny
as
still.
slaves. They start just, absolutely like fucking over these poor Pascagoula people. All because of that stupid decision that Enola and Altama made. Because they loved each other.
Aww.
Yeah, that was a bad choice, y'all.
Yeah,
But
never
anyway,
do something for love.
not when it's going to cause the slaughter of your people.
No, just like period. Money's real important. I'm just saying.
It helps. It does help.
Find
Anyway.
a bitch that can cook. Am I right, Leah?
Well, I mean, I can, so.
Yeah.
You found me. Hey.
Yeah.
But anyway, the
Just saying.
Pascagoula were incredibly outnumbered. And, I mean, they were like the sort of chill, peace-loving people. They didn't have as many tribes members, and they also didn't have as many warriors, so they were completely outnumbered, and they were really freaked out and scared. But they were super loyal to their chief Altama, and they were like, "Look, dude, you're the best. We love you very much, but we also don't want the Biloxi to slaughter us at night or make us slaves. So." Maybe we should all just go kill ourselves in the river. And Altama and Enola were like, yeah, that's a great idea. Good choices.
Altama, also known as Jim Jones.
Right? And so they made their way down to the river that is now called the Pascagoula. And they started singing the funerary song of their tribe. So whatever that was, I'm not sure, but apparently they had a song that they sang at like death rituals.
It went "Da-na-na-na-na-na," and I need you, da-na-na-na-na-na,
And I miss you. Sorry.
Oh God, I've made myself so happy in the last like 5 minutes.
I know you did.
Oh,
So
I'm sorry if no one else loves it, but goddamn, I'm so happy
So
with
they've
myself.
all gathered together at the bank of the river. They join hands and they're singing this death song, and they all march into the waters of the river, and according to the legend, they all sort of just disappear into the water hand in hand, and they drown themselves so they don't have to be, killed and or taken by the Biloxi tribe. And they believe that the singing is sort of the ghost of that tribe singing their last song as they march into death instead of being conquered by their enemies. And all for love, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you
So
say
that's
so.
the one story. But do you know what that story is missing that it totally could have if you had picked the other story?
A Counting Crows crossover.
Mermaids. You're right, mermaids.
I was thinking Big Yellow Taxi, Leah. Fucking A.
No.
Which is a cover, by the way. Did you know that's a cover?
What?
That Big Yellow Taxi song that Counting Crows and Vanessa Carlton did together? That might be Michelle Branch. That's Vanessa Carlton.
What song?
That Big Yellow Taxi song. It's originally by I don't know. I don't remember her name.
You mean I paved paradise and put
Yes.
up a park? Of course. Joni Mitchell sang
Joni Mitchell.
that.
That was it.
Of
Leah?
course that's a Joni Mitchell
Leah,
song. I didn't
I'm
even know
having
they covered
trouble
that.
concentrating and remembering things. Yeah, it was like you know how they did the song for the Shrek movie? It was like around the same time that they did that song.
Okay.
And Vanessa Carlton guests on it.
I didn't
She
know
goes,
they had covered that.
Bop, bop, bop. Boo, bop, bop, bop. That's what she does in the song.
You didn't know that was a Joni Mitchell song?
Leah, I was like 10 when I heard that.
Well, yeah, but like I've been listening to Joni
Nobody
Mitchell since I was a
experiences
kid.
Joni Mitchell until they are in late puberty, and then they go, "Oh my God, where was this all my life?"
No.
That's everyone's experience with Joni Mitchell.
It's not.
In my experience, that's everyone's experience with Joni Mitchell.
I'm sorry, we were a folk music family. Joni Mitchell, Joan Baez. Let's get some ladies singing ballads up in here. Anyway. I was exposed to a very broad range of musical choices when I was a kid, and I
Right.
have weird taste because of it. I'm sorry.
You had your hippie phase real early in life.
I did. I went through a whole, I went from like Beach Boys to Beatles like within the period of like 9 to 12, and it was a weird time for me. But anyway,
working 9 to 12. Gonna listen to the Beatles.
Oh, Dolly Parton never left though. She's my girl.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's get into the second story about why the Pascagoula River sings.
Begrudgingly.
Okay. So this is the older of the two stories, which is weird because I would have thought the one that I just told was older, but this one is the first recorded story of why the Pascagoula River sings. So let's listen to it. Well, you listen, I'll tell it.
I was going to say, are we listening?
No. So French settlers arrived in that area of Mississippi in like 1699, 1700, something like that. And they heard these sounds coming from the Pascagoula River. And they were like, that's weird. So they sort of recorded it in a lot of different manuscripts from explorers that were in that area at that time. And so that's sort of where this story comes from. So the people of the tribe, so the Pascagoula are the ones that are telling the French settlers and explorers this story. So they apparently told this French guy that's writing it down that they lived on the land that was previously occupied by the Pascagoula. So the actual Pascagoula tribe is already not a thing at this point. So this tribe of Native Americans said that the people that lived there previously had worshipped a mermaid is how it's translated, but I assume it's more of like a siren, like a water spirit kind of thing, and not like what you would assume like Ariel flipping around up there, But for
or
the
one
most
of those
part,
weird ones where the fish half is the top half.
a maid mer.
Yeah.
So we'll just call her a mermaid because that's what all of the translations I've read call it.
Okay.
But they sort of worshipped this water spirit mermaid situation. And they had a beautifully carved idol, I guess, image, some kind of totem of some sort that they worshipped that is of this water spirit. And every night the villagers would gather around this devotory object, this little mermaid statue, and they'd worship it. They'd sing songs to it, they'd chant to it, that kind of thing. It was just part of their religion. And it was at that time that as soon as they started doing that, this repetitive humming noise would come up from the river, and it was just sort of, they were communing with their nature spirit. So the Pascagoula people just worshipped a mermaid, I guess.
Yeah.
So apparently around the time that the Hernando de Soto expedition was coming through that part of the country, which was around 1539 to 1540, they basically brought missionaries, right?
Okay.
Catholic missionaries that were very serious about converting natives, forcefully. So this strange priest guy shows up in this town, and he sees that they're worshiping this weird mermaid lady, and he's not thrilled about it. And so he brought them a Bible, and he brought them a cross, and he said, look, y'all gonna be Christians now. And they were like, excuse me, what? And he was like, okay, so there's this guy, and his name is Jesus, etc. And they were like, yeah, no, we've got a mermaid. We're good.
Her name is Vanessa Carlton. She swims up and sings beautifully.
Exactly. And we don't really need your dude.
Yeah.
So thanks, but
Listen,
no, we're good.
Your blonde-haired, blue-eyed Jesus can just take a step back.
Yeah. And so the priest was like, no, you don't understand. You are converting to Christianity. And this pissed their mermaid off real bad. She was just pissed off and mad, just angry. So this prompted her to show her
Tips.
mermaids. No,
Was it
not her
tits?
tits. It was her mermaidness, I guess. And this is an excerpt from a book called The History of Louisiana that was published in 1867, and it's an account of that story. And I just want to read to you that account.
Starts with making my way downtown, walking fast, faces past, and I'm homebound in this giant river. Lake? Is it a lake?
It's a river.
It's a river.
And no, that's not what I was about to read, but
Fucking A.
close. A dramatic reading of
It was
that
close?
would be fun, but no.
Ugh.
So yeah, let me read that for you now. It says, one night when the moon at her zenith poured on heaven and earth with more profusion than usual, a flood of light angelic, at the solemn hour of 12, when all nature was in repose and silence, there came, on a sudden, a rushing on the surface of the river, as if the still air had been flapped into a whirlwind by myriads of invisible wings sweeping onward. I don't know, I like that part. Anyway,
Okay.
basically what he just said in real fancy talk is the water went a swooshing up into a big old tower column of water. And on top of this like aquatic column is this mermaid bitch herself going, excuse me, Mr. Preacher Man.
She's riding the column?
Yeah, she's riding the column. And she's just like, excuse me, dude, do you not understand? Like,
Do you
they
see these
worship me.
majestic titties?
There's nothing
at
said
them.
about titties, Mitchell.
It's coming.
But she's just like, look, if you're not going to worship me, you ain't worshiping anybody. So she starts singing like mermaids are wont to do.
Yeah.
And she starts singing this haunting, creepy song. And it basically puts all of her people into a trance. And one by one, every single person basically walks into the river and doesn't walk back out.
Oh.
And they were never seen again.
Well, that's sad.
So the entire village drowned in the river because this preacher dude like distracted them from their mermaid lady. And the mermaid lady has to be mermaided or she gets mad about it, right?
I guess.
No?
What does
Okay,
being
well.
mermaided mean?
I mean, like she was a water spirit used to being worshipped, and they start like talking about not worshiping her, and it made her mad. Like, you gotta keep up your mermaid worship, or she's going to column of water on you and drown you in the river.
Okay. Please don't.
Okay. But anyway, so according to the 19th century historian that was writing this down, the Pascagoula and the other tribes that sort of lived in the area basically believe that that song that they hear the river sing is the ghosts of that tribe that was drowned by the mermaid. And they say that their ghosts still live there in the waters under the waves, and that it's, you know, their spirits that are singing that song and that are making the river make that noise. And like I said, that is the older of the two stories. It was recorded as far back as like the late 1600s. So, I mean, maybe that's the right one. Maybe mermaid murder is the correct story.
Yeah, let's
don't
go
know.
with that one. I think that they both
Murder.
involve Vanessa Carlton, though.
No,
She's
I
in
mean
there somewhere.
they both involve the tribes drowning themselves,
Oh, God.
but is it a mermaid or is it true love?
Yes. It's true mermaid love.
Maybe that Altama man was actually in love with a mermaid lady, and that, yeah, we could combine them. It could be fun.
I agree.
I'm a little drunk, y'all. I'm
Me
sorry.
too. You think it's toast time, though?
I think it should be.
You think it's just toast time?
You want to get...
But yeah, I'm going to say the first story on that one. I'm going to bandersnatch it, and that's my
you pick the first story?
choice. Yeah.
Well, my story is always the mermaid lady.
Well,
The murderous mermaid of Pascagoula.
I don't know if it's murder if they walk in on their own.
But she sang the siren song to lure them to their deaths like a siren does, and it's not nice.
Okay, well, never mind.
And I wonder wonder if, like, they never mention the priest after, like, she starts singing. So does he drown too? Or does he just, like, get to go off and say, well, shit, no converts this week? Like, I don't...
Well,
I wanted to know more about what happened to the priest.
I hope she drowned him. Or made him drown himself, you know. Because I'm just that kind of guy.
Yeah.
I kinda
Anyway,
suck.
so that was the fun story of the Singing River, Pascagoula.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also a Singing River in Alabama, and we should do that one soon as well.
There's a brewery called Singing River.
Yep, and that's a different river and a different story, but similar sounds, turns out.
Oh.
I think some rivers just make a weird noise, so...
Maybe they just have crystal deposits we don't know about.
Possibly.
And they just get rubbed. Hey.
Hey, girl, hey.
I can't wait to end this so you can rub my crystal deposits. Went there.
I'm so grossed out.
Yeah, cancel that for the night.
Anyway, and it doesn't help that Dobby's dick handing me right now.
Y'all, I know it's been said, but when it comes up, I believe we have to speak about it. Our small dog likes to rest his penis on things. Like, he will straddle your foot, and you'll look down, and he'll just be standing there, like just standing with his penis on your foot.
I just think
it gets
his belly.
cold.
I just think his belly gets cold.
Yeah.
And so he just likes it to be warm, and his dick happens to be down there, and so it just sort of... But if he can get his belly on any part of you, he will. And I started calling it dick footing when he...
Yeah. I think I started calling it that. You don't get to take credit for that.
I'm pretty sure that was a
I
me
said
thing.
Dobby is dick footing you, I think is what happened.
I don't think so.
Look, we will go to court about this. This will be in the divorce proceedings.
That's fine.
I will maintain the copyrights to dick footing.
You can have it. No contest. Enjoy
Thank Christ. You can have everything else. I just want dick footing. That's all I need. Hey,
I still
by
think
the
I
way,
coined the term, but
episode title,
fine.
I just want dick footing.
Gross.
Done.
Anyway.
Give me the toast, please.
So everybody, hoist your goblet high into the sky as we toast that creepy old fucker in the window and the Singing River of
How
Pascagoula.
much is that creepy old fucker in the window?
I think corpse is easier to say than that creepy fucker.
Neither one of them fit, so I'm going
How
creepy old
much is
fucker.
that corpse in the window? You're right, it doesn't fit.
Thank you.
Anyway,
That's
all
what
right.
she said.
Hoist that goblet, let's get going.
Mm-hmm.
If you die of stroke and get found under a tree, they'll display your body for all the world to see. If you hear the Singing River, don't step into the water. That siren song is sweet, but will lead you all to slaughter. Fuck. It was good, I promise.
Instead of drink this week, Shilly is commanding you all to fuck.
No, let me do that second
Get on
stanza
it.
again.
Okay.
If you hear the Singing River, don't step into the water. That siren song is sweet, but will lead you all to slaughter.
Fuck.
Drink.
There we go.
It was better
Everybody-
the second time.
Everybody get your fuck on. Leah has commanded it.
Let's get your freak on. Now we're into Missy Elliott territory.
Get your fuck on. I think her and Vanessa Carlton did a crossover at one point,
Did
didn't they? No, I'm pretty sure I'm just fucking around now. Oh, that means that I have gone too far and it's time to wrap this fucker up. So thank y'all so much for listening to the Southern Spirits Podcast. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Southern Spirits Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at S-Spirits Podcast. Join the community chat on Facebook for all of your fun May needs. We have a lot of them, and go ahead and share things we've seen 10 times. We don't care. I'll still like them.
I love it, actually.
I do too.
And just as an update, that Michelle Branch song that I was thinking of was, and you're everywhere to me.
Yeah, that one fucking sucked, Leah.
When I close my eyes,
God.
it's you I see.
God, that one blew. Vanessa Carlton is a much superior
You're right.
songwriter.
She is better.
Thank you. And if you have any fun stories to tell us for midweek minis, send those to any of those social medias or to our email address, southernspiritspodcast@gmail.com. We also need some more questions, so send those in. Don't forget to watch Midweek Minis on Sundays on Facebook Live. We're also streaming Tailgate Tales on Wednesdays. And, you can listen to and watch those on Facebook on Saturday. So look for those. We did Tennessee this week. It was a whole lot of fun. Didn't we do Tennessee this week?
We sure did.
Yeah, we did. They are supremely uninteresting. So Go listen to that one and try to find
Don't tell
something.
them that. You have to lure them in. They shouldn't know that it's boring until after.
Sorry, y'all, but you'll find out on Saturday anyway, which would be yesterday at this point.
Yeah.
You can join the Possum Passel, patreon.com/Southern Spirits Podcast. Get you some swag and some Patreon exclusive material. And that's it, right? No, postcards. If you have any postcards or other fun stuff to send us, send those to our P.O. Box, which is P.O. Box 1743, Hartselle, Alabama. That's Hartselle 35640. And I believe that's all the announcements, Leah. That's everything, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will see y'all next week.
Bye, y'all.